India is a developing nation for many years now, and one is bound to wonder what is stopping it from being a developed country. As per a report, India is going to experience a paradox of nearly 90 million people joining the workforce, but most of them will lack requisite skills for productive employment. To bridge this gap, it is apt to target the education system that plays a massive role in shaping of a capable individual. Indian education system is one of the largest and most complex in the world given the population and its diversity. Factors to be considered are the quantity and quality of schools, teachers, and here we'll try to answer a few questions like have the number of schools established in rural and urban government and private sectors increased over the years? Is there a significant increase in enrollment of students over the years? If not, what are the causes and concerns? And most of all, how do we bring them to school? Here is an overall picture of the state of literacy for government to check and evaluate. In the map here, dark orange depicts the least literacy rate and dark blue the highest. In 2011, we see that most of the states are in orange shade and the next year onwards, they start shifting to blue. Also, the literacy trend for all states here evidently shows progress as a whole for the country. Few states worth mentioning are Bihar, Jharkhand, and Uttar Pradesh. The literacy rates have gone up by around 15% from 2011 to 2014. Even Kerala and Lakshadweep, which already have had highest literacy rates, have also shown progress. When we look at the distribution of schools among government and private sectors, rural and urban schools, it is clear that the major contributors to literacy rate in India are government rural schools. One might assume that increasing the number of schools will show an increase in literacy rate over time, but there are various other factors motivating the enrollment of children in schools, which in turn results in improved literacy rate. Let us study enrollment trend and related government efforts over the years. Education policy makers in government must consider various factors to improve enrollment. We can see that government school enrollment has been decreasing while private school enrollment has increased. Though the total school opened have doubled from 2008 to 2014, but it is important to note that only 3.5% of these schools have secondary and higher secondary level education. There is an increase in provision of school uniforms and midday meals as incentives to children over the years. Also, facilities like water availability and school management committees have improved drastically. But these incentives and facilities do not seem to have helped an increased enrollment. One can see that around 45% of schools do not have electricity and funds and should be set aside and this should be set aside to improve digital literacy by use of computers and technology. It is important that while making policies and providing aids to various states and districts, the decision made must be contextualized. That is, we cannot have same amount of funds going to all states. So we have provided state and district filter to study each region here individually. A main area of concern is the number of government and private teachers available per school. It is surprising to note that the number of teachers in private schools are more than half the number of government school teachers, although number of private schools are just a fraction of government schools. With such numbers, individual attention to students by teachers is extremely less in government schools. Let us see more on quality of these teachers and related information. It is useful for school management committees to study improvement in quality and quantity of teachers as they have the power to hire teaching staff. As per Right to Free and Compulsory Education RTE Act of 2009, pupil to teacher ratio PTR ratio at primary level should be 30:1 and at upper primary level it should be 35:1. We see that the number of schools above the suggested PTR ratio is decreasing, which is ideally a good sign. But it is worth noting the total number of schools comprises mostly of rural schools, which is shown by this dark blue bar. Now, in these rural areas, the number of students are already less, and this could have helped bring down the number of schools above PTR of 30 or 35, and hence this trend can be a bit misleading. So, we should consider not being complacent and focus on pushing the number of schools above suggested PTRs to almost zero in both rural as well as urban areas. The gross enrollment ratio GER is the ratio of number of children enrolled in primary or upper primary to the number of children of primary or upper primary school age. Thrust on providing primary education has yielded results with GER presently exceeding 100. If there is more enrollment of students, then that is ideally good news, but it is important to note that students of certain age are attending schools according to their age. There is a 14-year-old kid from rural area who never went to school earlier. If he is enrolling himself in a primary or upper primary schools, whereas as per his age he should have been in secondary, such cases improve GER ratio, but is that enough? As opposed to GER, net enrollment ratio, NER, is not irrespective of age of students who enroll. NER is a ratio of number of children of primary or upper primary school age enrolled in school to the number of children of primary or upper primary school age. The NER in primary education has improved to about 87.26% in 2014, but the relatively low number of NER, that is 65.22 in 2014, in upper primary education continues to be a cause for concern. The NERs, however, vary continuously widely among states and union territories. For example, for Kerala, these figures are pretty good. In order to answer the question we posed in the beginning as to how to get children to enroll, below are some of the suggestions after going through the trends and efforts that haven't proved useful. Educating parents on importance of education or providing incentives might help in them sending kids to school. Digital infrastructure in government schools could prove very costly. In such cases, sharing of resources between private and government schools can be implemented. Trained teachers and better teaching techniques will help motivate the children to come to school every day. In all, we see that the present day education system has come a long way and has continuously undergone makeover with the hope that this will ensure a productive ecosystem. These visualization of various trends can be studied and measures can be taken to encourage more and more children to get enrolled to schools at the right age. Thank you.